Now, Nigeria's leading on-demand delivery service provider, Chowdeck, recently secured nearly $10 million Series A private equity fund as a firm plans strategic expansion across the African continent. Joining me now in the studio to discuss what the horizon looks like for the CEO, for the company, is the CEO, Femi Aluko. Great to have you with us in the studio tonight. Thank you very much for coming. And congratulations on this fundraising. Talk to me. What does it reveal about the capacity of on-demand delivery business in Nigeria and across Africa to still attract funding from both local and international investors? What does this reveal?
I mean, it's very exciting. I think investors are beginning to get confidence back in Africa again. I think over the last few months, we've had few months to few years, we've had shaky confidence in the African tech space, largely because of the FX fluctuations, difficulty of logistics, exits of some players. But we've seen massive investor confidence in the last few months of just trying to raise funds and close this Series A funding. So I think that is getting back to the continent. I think it's exciting times for Africa. I think that we over the next few months, we are going to be doing a lot of exciting things in Africa via Chowdeck, yeah.
I'm sure you had discussions with some of these private equity folks, and what were their concerns? What were their optimism about Nigeria, about Africa when it comes to private equity investing?
Yeah, I think it's gradually shaping up. I think over the last few months, initially it was kind of shaky. Investors were not too confident in Nigeria. At some point we had fluctuating FX rates. It wasn't really stable. But I think over the last few months we've seen some level of stability. I think that's also inspiring investor confidence in some way. Also, the logistics space in Nigeria is also really tough. A lot of infrastructure is still being set up in Nigeria, and I think that also put some fear in investors early on. But I think with the work Chowdeck has done over the last 3 years, when we started 3 years ago, we're delivering around 400, 500 deliveries a day. Now we are delivering thousands, tens of thousands of deliveries daily. That kind of growth is enough to attract.
Where's that growth coming from? What's making delivery more? Is it that Lagos vehicular traffic or what?
Multiple things. I think technology is making that possible. I think another thing is also post the pandemic, we've had a lot of people come online and now order food online, and we've seen increase in consumer spending pattern. People are feeling safer ordering things online, paying for these things even before delivery and getting their meals delivered to them on time. We also have really good delivery times. Our delivery times is average of 30-35 minutes on the average. Previously that wasn't possible. Before it took hours to get your food delivered to you. But with the technology we've built, with the routing algorithms we've designed, we are able to ensure that customers get their meals as quickly as possible. Yeah.
Very interesting how things are going. So you think some of the habits that we picked on during COVID-19, making ordering online, haven't really left us. So folks now sit in the office here, instead of walking down the street or 2 streets or whatever, 2 blocks, I could just make an order.
That's correct. And it's convenience. It's convenience. Why do you need to walk down to the restaurant if you can get
or take a taxi or drive to have lunch?
Exactly. And in some cases, it's even cheaper because going to the, if the restaurant is far from you, you have to take maybe a bike or a tricycle to go get the food and come back.
Or on fuel. If you are driving.
Exactly. So it saves you time, saves you, it's also really, really convenient, which is what a lot of our customers look forward to when they use Chowdeck.
What's the experience of your folks on the ground, whether on motorbikes or bicycles, navigating the city and all of that, making delivery?
Yeah, initially it was tough, but I think technology helped us enhance that experience. Our delivery is really hyper-local. We don't have a lot of deliveries that happen on major ways or expressways. So what we had to do in the early days was to design our own mapping systems that help these riders navigate the terrain a lot easier. So a lot of them now we have initially also used to be bikes, but now we now have a lot of bicycles. 55% of our deliveries happen using bicycles today. So we have a lot of people adopting the platform very easily and smoothly. Yeah.
Interesting. It looks like the market on-demand delivery logistics is getting a bit crowded. How are you dealing with that? New entries, some folks can get done and they drop, by the way, as it were, dropped off the business. So how are you dealing with that? Competition looks like logistics is now a major industry.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing that we have competition coming up, and we also have a lot of people trying to solve build for this space. I know that when I used to be a former engineer at Paystack, and I saw how the fintech how at some point it was heavily fintech. In recent times we've seen that trend move to a lot more industries logistics and maybe even education. So I think it's great for the ecosystem. I think it's great for the industry. We want a lot more people to come build in this space. It's a huge marketplace. It's not just the consumer side. We have people playing in the infrastructure side, people trying to like do asset financing for bikes. Like it's a very huge space, and we definitely welcome competition. We think it's still a very
I
big
get
space.
that. So I don't have to do what you are doing.
That's correct.
But I can, if I have deep pocket, which I don't have. I wish I did. But if I have that deep pocket, I could just invest in bicycles or motorbikes.
That's correct.
Rather than setting up a rival to Chowdeck, for example.
I mean, you can do both. You can set up a rival to Chowdeck. You can. I mean, it's not. We don't think that like we think that like steady states in marketplaces or like in the demand spaces, like having two very strong players playing. And this has happened across the world. In the United States, for example, we have DoorDash and Uber Eats, like two top food delivery players, like doing millions of deliveries daily. Yeah. Same thing is happening in India. We have Swiggy. We have Swiggy and Zomato doing millions of deliveries daily. But in Nigeria, like we don't have any food delivery player even doing up to 100,000 deliveries actually across Africa. So it's still a very, very early space, like in the country.
220 million people or so. It's a big market.
Yeah, it's a very big market. So we still need like I don't want to say we want competition, but like I think it's going to be really helpful to just like have a lot more people bid for the space here.
So why did you go to Ghana? Tell me about that.
Yeah, Ghana has shown real promise for us. Ghana has shown really exciting promise. Like even just looking at the numbers, looking at like the terrain, it's very similar to Nigeria in terms of like culture. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's very similar. It's close to Nigeria. Like the market looks really promising. Ghana has been growing really fast. Like we launched in Ghana 3 months ago. In our first month, we were doing like around 10-20 deliveries in Ghana. Like recently, we announced 1,000 deliveries. Actually, on Monday, we announced 1,000 deliveries last week or last 2 weeks. Like on Monday, we crossed 2,000 deliveries in Ghana. So it's growing really, really fast. It's growing like the team on ground is executing at the speed of light, and that kind of growth that we've seen in Ghana, we know that like it is because of like the enabling environment that the Ghanaian government provides to us here.
I almost forgot to ask you, how are you spending $9 million US, my friend? Why did I miss that?
Honestly, it's majorly expansion and quick commerce. We are also betting heavily on quick commerce. When we started with just like restaurant delivery. That's delivering meals for a lot of restaurants, top restaurants. I think a year ago, we expanded into delivering groceries and medicines from supermarkets and pharmacies, and we've seen like massive uptake. People are adopting this product like really crazily. Now we want to double down on that space. And the supermarket space in the grocery space in Nigeria is still very early compared to like other markets. You know what I mean? Like if you look at, for example, in the US, you have Walmart that has like 10,000 branches, 10,000 stores. In South Africa, ShopRite has like 4,000 stores. In Nigeria, ShopRite has just like 15 or 20 stores. So we don't even have enough like infrastructure to power the deliveries happening across the different continents, and that's why we're doubling down on quick commerce. Like we can choose to wait over the next 5 to 10 years to have like a lot more supermarkets spring up, or we can just take it into ours and like try to build. And that's what we're trying to do. Like we know that it's very possible. We've seen like constant demonstration of this in multiple different cities we've launched our dark stores in, and we're doubling down on quick commerce here.
Do you intend to run not just in Lagos elsewhere, but also across Africa?
Yep, that's correct. Yeah, right now we are.
You're in Ghana. So.
Yeah, exactly. So across Africa, yeah.
So where are you going next?
We are still running our numbers. We are still analyzing. It takes a while for us to arrive at the country we are launching in next. We don't launch in countries because we want to launch. We want to like plant flags. We launch because we know where we can. We have a strong shot at winning. So we are just taking our time to figure that out. Yeah.
Okay, so how do you see on-demand delivery evolving in Nigeria? Do you see any role that could be played in that transformation moving forward?
I think it's still very early in Nigeria. I think over the next 5 to 10 years, and the analogy I like to give is that like right now, Chowdeck has 20,000 riders. Nigeria is home to like 200 million people. Now at 20,000 riders, like the average Chowdeck rider, for example, has a family of 5. That's like 100,000 lives that have been impacted just by the work we are currently doing in Chowdeck. Now when that number, like for us to do like 1 million deliveries in a day, for example, we need to have at least 200,000 riders, which means that like by virtue of what Chowdeck is building, we are impacting the lives of like 1 million people, which is like what 0.5% or 5% of the Nigerian population. So it's still very early. Like we think that like a lot more players need to come up. A lot more we need to build together. We need to like work with the government. We need to work with regulators to also like introduce like a form of regulations and policies to just ensure that like we are able to build sustainably going forward. Yeah.
What type of policies would you like to see? We talk about regulation.
Multiple. I think multiple things come to mind when it comes to policies. But I think top of mind would just be like maybe like I guess probably easing down tax, making it easier for like small and medium scale businesses to start up and operate like effortlessly without tax. So maybe like in Lagos, for example, I know we saw this happen in Ibadan. It helped a lot of businesses grow in Ibadan, where like when you start up, like you have maybe like a 2-year, I guess, tax holiday of some sort. Like that would be helpful to like a lot of SMEs in Nigeria and Lagos to have that here.
My friend, you've got $9 million now, you got to pay your tax. End of discussion. End of discussion. When you get out of here, the tax man is waiting for for you
Oh,
at the door.
Okay, then I'll sleep here.
Yes, you better stay along here on a rise. But it's good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Making Africa proud and Nigeria proud. Thank you so much. From Chowdeck, the CEO, there speaking to us here on the program.